Hello, Reds fans. Welcome to the YNWA Transfer News Channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for your daily latest news.
Crystal Palace confirmed Mark Guehi decision as Liverpool transfer stands clear. It comes amid speculation over Guehi's future at Selhurst Park, with the England international having just 1 year left on his contract at the club. The Echo previously reported Liverpool are interested in the defender, but those in power are ready to wait on the defender instead of paying a fee before the current summer window closes. Despite the lack of clarity over where Guehi may be playing once the summer transfer window shuts on September 1st, the former Chelsea player is set to lead his side out at Wembley. Palace boss Glasner confirmed the news on Friday, while also giving an update on the future of Gueye, who has also been linked with a move away from the club this summer, with Arsenal reportedly interested in signing him. He will play on Sunday, definitely. Mark as well. Mark will captain the team, the German said at his pre-match press conference. Pressed further about Guehi's future, he replied, "You have to ask Mark. At the end it's always the player's decision. Mark decides about his future, and of course everybody wants Mark to sign a new contract, but it will be his decision." Still, he conceded, "We never know what happens in this sometimes crazy transfer market." Palace have confirmed they will be without the quartet of Eddie Nketiah, Sheikh Doucouré, Caleb Kpora, Mateus Franca. A recent report from The Guardian claimed Guehi is not actively pursuing a move away from Palace this summer but would choose Liverpool over rival suitors Newcastle United if it came down to it. It is believed Palace would charge around the £40 million mark if they are going to sanction the move in the coming weeks. Liverpool transfer news. Alexander Isak's stance explained as Arne Slot drops major hint. Liverpool have wasted no time in laying their cards on the table ahead of the new season. As reigning Premier League champions, the Reds are chomping at the bit to defend their title. They're well positioned to do just that after splashing out this summer. Arne Slot's squad has seen an injection of around £300 million in fresh talent. And they might not be finished yet. Alexander Isak is still firmly in their sights after handing in a transfer request at Newcastle, while a new centre-back has been on Liverpool's wish list for most of the summer. However, some departures may need to occur before any more deals can be sealed. Luis Diaz has already packed his bags, and Darwin Núñez appears to be Saudi Arabia bound, while more exits could be on the cards. Dimitar Berbatov has shed light on what Alexander Isak will be considering as he ponders his future amidst Liverpool's interest. He stated, "Of course, maybe the pay raise, more money, because football is business these days. So a lot of questions that I'm sure are going to Isak. Of course his agent around him, his family around him, friends, environment is also very important. Giving him opinions, guidance maybe, and it's going to come to a point, I don't know if that's the point now that we're seeing, where you say to the club, look, I've given enough, now it's time to move on. The club's maybe not going to react well, especially if they don't have the replacement in hand, so now they need to react quickly. Maybe they don't want to let you go because they have high expectations of you for the next season. The Reds may not be in the market for a new centre-back, despite being linked with Crystal Palace's Mark Guehi." Slot said, "They can definitely play there as well, and you forget Joe Gomez. Unfortunately Gomez, has a minor injury at the moment, but he will be back with the team soon. I'm really happy with the players we are having, and we have numerous players who can play in the position." Wrexham manager Phil Parkinson has refused to be dragged into talk about signing Liverpool's young talent Lewis Kumas. The starlet has been rumoured to be on the brink of a season-long loan move to the Championship club. When quizzed about these speculations, Parkinson replied, "There's such a list of players, and we seem to get linked to it with everybody. At this stage I just don't want to really comment on any individuals." Arne Slot makes wait and see admission on Liverpool transfers after £300 million summer spend. Liverpool may have spent £300 million so far in this window and plan to splash even more cash before it slams shut. But boss Arne Slot admits he won't know if they've upgraded their squad until the new recruits really settle in and all their business is done on September 1st. Not that the Dutchman doubts any of the signings and their qualities, but he knows adapting to English football and the physicality will be a test. The Reds have brought in striker Hugo Ekitike for £79 million, playmaker Florian Wirtz for potentially up to £116 million, versatile defender Jeremy Frimpong for £29 million, left-back Milos Kerkez for £40 million and goalkeeper Georgi Mamardashvili for £30 million. But they have lost regular starters with Luis Diaz leaving for Bayern Munich in a £65 million deal, while right-back Trent Alexander-Arnold departed as his contract expired. Darwin Núñez is set to be sold to Al Hilal, while defender Jarell Quansah went to Bayer Leverkusen and backup keeper Caoimhin Kelleher headed to Brentford. They also had the tragic loss of Diogo Jota in a car crash. All those players Slot knew what they could do and couldn't do, so now he will be seeing what the new boys can deliver ahead of tomorrow's Community Shield clash with Crystal Palace. When asked if he feels the squad has been upgraded, he said, "That is something I can only tell you at the 1st of September, because the window is still 3 weeks open. So I do feel that the players we've brought in have done already really well, as expected, because that's why we brought them in. But I cannot tell you now if these players are able to perform at the same level every 3 days, therefore we first have to start the season, to see. And I didn't know that Luis Diaz was able to do that, and all the other ones were able to do that. So that is another challenge at the Premier League, because we play so many games. And for Milos Kerkez, it's going to be his first time probably, that at this level he might have to play every 3 days. Florian Wirtz comes from the Bundesliga, where he was used to playing every 3 or 4 days, but we have to ask him in 2 months if the intensity levels of the Premier League are comparable with the Bundesliga. So in terms of talent and the quality we've brought in, we see that we have a very good team again. But we have to wait and see, will they stay fit? So the ones that have left were almost the whole season fit. Will all the ones that we brought in do the same? So there are multiple factors you need to take into account. But again, I am really happy with the players we've brought in. But we've also lost starters that have had a big impact on our title-winning season last year. Alexander Isak poised to miss Newcastle's opening game of season. Alexander Isak is unlikely to feature in the opening game of the Premier League season at Aston Villa. The 25-year-old Sweden international was not involved in Friday night's 2-2 Sela Cup draw with Espanyol at St. James Park, and he will not figure when Howe sends out his side against Atletico Madrid on Saturday. Howe revealed that talks with Isak, the subject of a rejected £110 million bid from Liverpool, are ongoing, but he does not expect any resolution before the season's opener. The Magpies head coach said, "I'd want Alex to be playing today. I'd want him training tomorrow. We would love the player to be with us, let me make that absolutely clear. There's no part of me that doesn't want that outcome. We've had discussions and it's clear at the moment that we can't involve him with the group. I don't know how long that will be for, but that's the latest. But I don't see that changing before Aston Villa, the current situation we're in." Isak has cut a lonely figure at the Magpies training ground since his return to Tyneside, having been ordered to work away from the main group following his non-appearance for the club's pre-season trip to Singapore and South Korea. His indication that he wants to explore his options this summer, coupled with Liverpool's bid Newcastle value him at closer to £150 million, have created a tense standoff. Isak's unhappiness has left the club with a major decision to make cash in now and make a significant profit on a man who cost them £63 million 3 summers ago, or try to persuade him that his future remains on Tyneside and that he should sign a new contract to replace his existing deal, which has 3 years still to run. Asked if the club could simply dig in their heels and refuse to sell their star frontman, Howe said, "I don't think it's that straightforward, otherwise we'd have done that a long time ago. I don't think we're in a position to do that currently. I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't think that's right. I think I've said enough." Liverpool boss Arne Slot refused to comment on the Premier League champions' pursuit of the Swede at his press conference on Friday morning as the Magpies continue to work on potential signings after a frustrating summer to date. RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko's decision to opt for Manchester United rather than Newcastle represented a fresh blow, and while they are working on other targets, their need is mounting by the day. The club's failure to date to land potential signings, they have recruited Anthony Elanga and Aaron Ramsdale, who saved a penalty against the Spanish side on his debut, but have missed out on Hugo Ekitike, Sesko, James Trafford and Joao Pedro, has prompted suggestions that Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which owns an 85% stake, is not as engaged as it once was. Liverpool. Isak agreement revealed as Romano confirms new update on Newcastle contract snub. According to reports, Alexander Isak had an agreement with Newcastle United, who have had a new offer rejected by the Liverpool target. The Isak saga continues to drag on, and a conclusion still seems far away after he made it clear to Newcastle that he wants to leave the club this summer. During the 2024-25 campaign, Isak cemented himself as one of the world's best strikers as he scored 27 goals in 42 appearances in all competitions for Newcastle. Isak helped Newcastle win the Carabao Cup and qualify for the Champions League, though he feels he is ready for the next step in his career as he eyes a move to Liverpool. The Reds have already paid around £80 million to sign Hugo Ekitike as part of their £260 million summer spend, though they remain interested in Isak as their dream target. Liverpool have already had a bid of around £120 million for Isak rejected by Newcastle, who reportedly value their prized asset at around £150 million. It has been suggested that the Reds are ready to return with a new offer once the Magpies land a replacement. On Friday evening, transfer expert Fabrizio Romano revealed a new update on Isak's situation, confirming that he has rejected Newcastle's attempts to tie him to a new contract beyond 2028. Isak, I'm told, has a new thing to say tonight, that he said in a very clear way to Newcastle again this week that he is not willing to sign a new contract at the club, Romano said on his YouTube channel. So, Newcastle tried again earlier this week to offer him a new contract, but the player, at the moment, guys, we never know in football. Maybe this could change in the next days or weeks, and I will be here to tell you because our job is to tell you what's going on, not to predict the future. But in this moment, Alexander Isak has no intention to sign a new contract at Newcastle. Alexander Isak wants to go to Liverpool, and so this story remains absolutely on. It's not over. Follow that one, because the story again is really on. Before this summer, the Indicala News was renowned for being a parody account on X, but they have recently emerged as a semi-credible outlet, as they have amassed 580k followers, a team of 5 respected reporters, and were recently credited by The Athletic's David Ornstein after beating him to a story. With that, Indicala claimed on Friday evening that Isak's team has informed them that he reached a gentleman's agreement with Newcastle in January. Thanks for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.